So we're back in our host drawing.dwg file, and as you can see, our reference is in the host drawing already, and that's our external references.dwg file. Now what I've done is I've referenced in the external references.dwg file from the same folder location as the host drawing file. So how do I check that first of all? Well, what I do is I go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, go to the Reference panel here, click on the flyout, and there's my external references reference file that's coming into my host drawing. Now remember, the host drawing, regardless of the file name, is always the blue and yellow little icon there. Any reference files have a little sort of paperclip DWG icon. So my external references file is referenced into my host drawing file. Now, if I select that external references and come down to the details, there's the little dot and the slash in the details telling me that it is a relative file path. So that means that external references and host drawing, both the DWGs are in the same folder, and external references is referenced into host drawing. Now, what happens if you need to find and replace a reference file? Now, it may be that you've got another version of your external references drawing, and you need to use that, but it's in a different location. It may have been updated, it may have been sent in by a third party, it might be a third party reference file, and it comes into a known location and you need to replace the one you've already got. Well, there's a lovely new Find and Replace tool available in the external references palette, but you must make sure that you make all of the file paths for the reference files absolute before you make any changes. So in the external references palette, I right click on the reference file, change the path type here to absolute, and you'll notice that changes in the details down here and gives me the actual file path rather than the /relative file path. Now all I need to do is find and replace the file path locations. I don't have to actually change the files themselves. All I'm doing is changing the locations. So again, I right click on the reference file and I go Find and Replace. And this is lovely because there's my path, my absolute path that I've just made. I want to replace that now with a new path. Now what I've done is I've taken the external references.dwg file and I've put it on my Windows desktop. Now you will need to do this as well if you want to follow along with this next part of the video. But all I'm doing is I'm clicking on the little box here with the 3 dots, and I'm going to go to my desktop now, which is on my location bar on the left there, like so. And that's the path that I now want to look at for my external references.dwg file. Notice no files are mentioned, it's just the locations. I click on Open. So basically what I'm saying is find all the references that were here in this folder, and I now want to replace all the references from this folder. So I replace all, I'm only replacing 1 in this case, but I might have 12, say 15 reference files coming in. I can replace all of them in one go by hitting that button. And as you can see now, look, it's located desktop external references.dwg, and it's a success. So it's telling me that they've all updated and none of the references have failed. I click on OK. There's the path there, and you can see it's gone back to its default relative file path. So if I right click here and change the path type, you can see it's prompting me to make it absolute again if I want to. But that's basically how you find and replace reference files. So it may be that you've got a group of reference files that are relative and in the same folder as your host drawing, but it may be that you need to find and replace your reference files from a different location that is not relative. It may be an absolute file path. And as you can see, all the tools are there to do that in your external references palette.